This is the Elder's Recess, a mysterious volcanic environment covered in the crystallized bioenergy of elder dragons and home to some of the most fearsome monsters ever to have walked the earth. Deep in the crystalline caverns of the Elder's Recess, an Oregon and a Dodogama are sparring over a potential feeding ground. Both of these lumbering wyverns feed on the bioenergy-laden crystals and mineral-rich stones of the Elder's Recess. A strange diet, to be sure. But these aren't the monsters we're searching for today. On our journey into the New World, we have encountered quite a few strange and dangerous new creatures. Monsters the like of which have never been seen in the Old World. Of all the monsters native to the New World, none inspires more fear and frustration among hunters than the colossal flying wyvern known as Bazelgeuse. The piercing wail of its call alone is enough to instill fear in the heart of even the most stalwart of hunters. The Bazelgeuse is a nomadic monster. Much like the Deviljoe, it moves from region to region in search of prey. From the wildspire wastes to the coral highlands, these strange flying wyverns have been sighted nearly everywhere in the New World. When a Bazelgeuse takes up temporary residence in a new feeding ground, it often takes over the nests of other local apex predators, laying its eggs and raising its young in the new borrowed home rather than building a nest of its own. The small hook-like tusk on the lower jaw of the Bazelgeuse is a trait shared with other flying wyverns, such as its relative, the Raytheon. The Bazelgeuse, like the Raytheon, uses its jaw hook to feed and care for its young in the nest. Because the Bazelgeuse is a nomadic hunter, it often encounters and is attacked by other large territorial monsters in its travels. The body of the Bazelgeuse is covered in thick armored plates to defend against such attacks. The Bazelgeuse, like many other flying wyverns, has an internal flame sac, allowing it to combine combustible chemicals inside its body and spew fire from its mouth and nose. But this, of course, is not its only means of attack. The underside of the Bazelgeuse's chest and tail are covered in large bulbous scales, which the creature can shake to dislodge. These dropped scales are superheated and often explode on impact, spraying a dangerous arc of shrapnel and flame. Like a shark's teeth, these scales are constantly shed and regrown throughout the life of the Bazelgeuse, with new smaller scales replacing the lost or detonated older ones. The closest living relative of the Bazelgeuse is the Old World flying wyvern Strawfoot. Like the Bazelgeuse, the Strawfoot is covered in detachable scales. Although it's much smaller, and with no internal flame organ, it lacks the ability to breathe fire or superheat its scales. The Bazelgeuse is a voracious eater. In order to incapacitate its prey, it often flies overhead, dropping its explosive scales, only swooping in for the kill once its target has been wounded by the detonations. This flying wyvern is fearless and extremely aggressive, the bane of New World hunters. The Bazelgeuse has poor eyesight and will often mistakenly attack wounded wyverns during a hunt. When it hears the sounds of a battle in progress, it likely assumes that the hunted monster has been wounded by a detonated scale and swoops in to finish the job. Unfortunately, and likely due to its poor eyesight, this Bazelgeuse has attacked a Deviljoe. A mistake it won't live to regret for long. The Bazelgeuse won't submit easily to the Deviljoe and puts up a fearsome fight, but in the end, the Deviljoe, a larger and more powerful wyvern, is triumphant. Once the Deviljoe is finished taking its meal, I'll notify the Hunters Guild that the Bazelgeuse we've been studying has met its demise. The Guild can harvest what's left of the carcass, as the bones and scales of this wyvern are a valuable resource. Nothing goes to waste in the New World, and this Bazelgeuse, its sacrifice will not be in vain. As always, this has been Strawfoot. Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed this video and would like to support the channel and have exclusive access to even more content, please stop by the Patreon page. We also have a vibrant community growing over on our Discord server. It's a great place to learn about this game we all love, find friends to hunt with, and enjoy chatting with the community. We even have a fan art section on the server, where users are posting original short stories and fan art. Check this out. One of our Discord friends, Scrump, painted this totally rad bagel boy. He did it just the other day. How cool is that? You rock, Scrump. Seriously, there's links to all this stuff in the video description, so check it out. Oh, and one more thing. Click all those buttons for me. You know, the YouTube thing. Doing that helps support the channel, and it makes my heart super happy. Thanks, friends. Peace out.